This is a certified hood classic.
KidFlash is one of the coolest characters to ever appear on the classic Teen Titans show. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the time when this man Wally West entered demon mode activity and violated the high five. Without further ado, let's get right on with the video. The High Five were having the time of their lives as the Teen Titans were out on a global mission, allowing them to freely terrorize the city and steal some items. Unknown to these clowns though, the Titans made a call to warn their closest homies to patrol the city in their absence. Just as the High Five exited the museum, a blur appeared and retrieved all the items the villains stole from the museum. The unknown hero made sure to clown the High Five even more as the blur ran up to Mammoth to drop his pants to the floor. That shit was straight disrespectful, and here we have this insane moment as the blur ran back up to Jinx and handed her a rose. After seeing this scene, bro, I already knew who the mysterious hero was. The yellow and red blur, plus risen up a random girl. There's only one Titan capable of doing both those things. The GOAT was finally making his debut in the Teen Titans cartoon. Anyways, the High Five arrived back to their crib, pissed at the fact they were turned into 2012 Michael Cole by the mysterious hero. Like, these villains were so pissed that they immediately started looking up the nigga in the database, only for them to not get any matches. Not to mention, Jinx was pissed at the mysterious individual and eradicated the rose the hero gave her. I was like, damn, yeah, she's gonna cook the homie the next time they meet for sure. Jinx returned back in the museum to steal the charm again when she's met by the individual responsible for embarrassing her and the High Five, KidFlash. Now, for those that don't know, this nigga Wally West is one of the coldest characters in DC Comics. Whenever this man appears in the adaptation, you know you're about to witness peak greatness. Wally introduced himself to Jinx and immediately activated his flirting mode to rizz up the villainess. And that's another thing this man Wally West is known for, rizzing up chicks. In the comics, the man has had great luck with Linda Park, Donna Troy, and Power Girl. In animated features, he's had great luck with Fire, Giganta, and Artemis. And now the bro wanted to test his luck in the Teen Titans universe with Jinx. Like, the homie Wally even ran all the way to France to give her something nice. This man was on a mission to achieve the very same prize Cyborg and Seymour failed to do, and that was Jinx's heart. Jinx informed the redhead it's already too late for her to switch sides as she's committed too many heinous crimes. Plus her squad would come looking for her if she suddenly decided to give up the life of crime. But this Chad Wally was like, don't worry, I'll foderize those bums again if they try that bullshit. I was like, that's my nigga right there. But then it clicked in my head that she's playing this dude Wally. Like, look at Homegirl's mannerisms in this frame, bro. You already knew Jinx had some devious shit planned for the homie Wally. Wally, being the nice nigga that he is, offered his hand out to Jinx, still pushing out his goal on setting her straight in the head. Unfortunately, Wally's generous efforts didn't work in his favor as Jinx equipped one of the most devilish faces known to mankind and blasted the hero to the pavement. As Wally looked up, he noticed the High Five pulled up alongside Jinx to wax him for his disrespectful actions earlier. Like, these niggas had that Sukuna and Mahito facial expressions on their faces, knowing they were about to give this man the fade of the century. Wally got up and was like, alright, bet, you want to try and jump me? Fine. Just know it won't be easy hitting a moving target, as the homie equipped his speed booster badge and fodderized Billy Numerous before running up to the behemoth known as Mammoth to dodge his attacks, while also mocking him in the process. Seymour was tired of Wally disrespecting his big homie Mammoth and shot one of his nasty ass eyeballs to stun the hero. Dude was cursed with one of the worst powers in the show easily. With Wally being on the ground, Gizmo used the opportunity to tag him with his pink bubblegum, while Billy Numerous looked on like a happy motherfucker, knowing their Hall of Fame jumping technique was working on the menace. Wally pulled out an Albert Einstein counter and wrapped Gizmo with his pink bubblegum before launching the man away like he was in an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Billy Numerous, who was still in his big hater phase, decided to make Wally's life more of a living hell as he multiplied his body in the direction of the hero's trail. It was like we were watching a scene from Tron as Wally finally escaped the maze created by Billy Numerous and fodderized the spot again. Batman, Kid Wicked teleported in front of KidFlash and gave the hero the bitch slap to end all bitch slaps, causing the hero to stagger back. The 1v6 throwdown got worse for Wally as the villains decided to activate their Hall of Fame jumping one more time, while Mammoth appeared behind the hero to give him the Bojack bear hug finishing move. But the GOAT Wally vibrated his body at a high frequency to escape the behemoth's clutches and proceeded to fade the High Five one more time before running away to escape. Now here we have the most bullshit scene in the episode as KidFlash unknowingly ran in a puddle of water and tripped. When the homie looked up, he saw Jinx standing in front of him with a sign and was rendered unconscious by the villainess. Look, I understand, speedsters like Wally West, Barry Allen, and Sonic the Hedgehog are insanely broken, so they have to be nerfed in sake of the plot. but damn, this scene will always be crazy to me on how Wally got taken down like that. With the menace finally defeated, the High Five decided to take the hero back to their crib and make him their prisoner. The only problem though is these frauds didn't know what to do with him at all. Like, the scene was already funny as fuck to me, but then came the question all fans were wondering as Wally asked the villains why they're called a High Five if there's 6 of them. Like, I was wondering this shit too, bro. This squad consists of 6 different villains and they have the audacity to call themselves the High Five. Like, make it make sense, bruh. Seymour followed up on Wally's question by delivering one of the worst answers known to man, as the brother said they chose High Five because it sounded cooler. In any case, the boys of the High Five decided on watching some WWE as they quickly got bored of dealing with a menace known as KidFlash, leaving Jinx all alone to deal with the hero. Wally used the opportunity to spend more game with Jinx, which irritated the villainess as she wanted to know who this nigga works for, but the young goat pressed on as he asked the girl if it bothers her that her squad doesn't take anything she says serious. Jinx, who was in her confused era, straight up asked KidFlash why he's so damn interested in her, and y'all, I was already behind the homie Wally 100% here. But this goat Wally told Jinx he senses something special in her soul and believes she can truly do better. Wally continued his rizz approach by asking Jinx if he can get some mustard on his sandwich. Another tidbit about this nigga Wally is he loves to eat food, dating all the way back to the Lopes era of the Flash. However, Wally's attempt at changing Jinx's mind failed again as she blew up the sandwich in the homie's face and informed him she was planning on handing him over to the villainess known as Madame Rouge. Now, for those that haven't seen Teen Titans, Madame Rouge was an absolute in this show, bruh. I'll never forget the way she manhandled Hotspot in an earlier episode. Anyways, this man Wally was like, yo, you're joking, right? But nah, Jinx was for real as she pulled up Madame Rouge on the monitor and informed the woman she had KidFlash captured. I was like, my nigga Wally, if you don't get out of there right now because you don't want to end up like that nigga Hotspot, man. Jinx was delighted at the possibility of working with Madame Rouge and tried rubbing it in Wally's face, but when homegirl looked back, she realized the man dipped. Realizing that she was in deep shit, Jinx set up a conference with her squad to capture KidFlash before her idol arrives. Though it didn't go the way they planned as KidFlash clowned each one of them, and just as the High Five believed they had Wally pinned again, the hero pulled out one of the most busted abilities a speedster can use and phased out the building before leaving the crib entirely. And to add more insult to injury, Madame Rouge arrived at the young villain's base and wasn't too pleased with these amateurs as she quickly left to go hunt down KidFlash herself. Jinx at this moment was astronomically down bad for Madame Rouge and wanted to try her luck again with her squad, but the homies were tired of getting clowned by KidFlash and they also didn't want to get in the way of Madame Rouge. Jinx decided to go alone, but that nigga Seymour ended up going along too as he had a secret crush on the villainess. I know, y'all are probably wondering, damn, this man had a crush on Jinx too? And yes, every nigga was down bad for Jinx in this series, bro. Anyways, Jinx is busy walking down the deserted street when Wally pulls up to spit game with her again, which leads to Jinx roasting the hero as she believes he's a dumbass for coming up to her after everything he's been through so far. But this man Wally didn't give a fuck and pressed on, which later turned out to be quite a dumb decision by the hero, as the girl he was spitting game with this entire time was none other than Madame Rouge. And there I was stunned. I was like, Wally, if you don't run up out of there right now, because this lady has a prestige trophy collection when it comes to fading any member of the Teen Titans. Wally was shocked at the reveal and tried running away, but this lunatic woman, Madame Rouge, was able to catch the young hero in his tracks and slam his ass into a nearby wall. This part of the fight straight up turned into an episode of Looney Tunes as KidFlash tried to escape Madame Rouge, only for him to fail every time. Like this scene here, where Madame Rouge punched Wally so hard that she had him spitting out saliva like he was Frieza in his 1v1 with Topo, and got ready to finish off the hero with a Ganondorf stomp. Wally got out of the way and tried swirling Madame Rouge in a whirlwind, but that shit didn't work either as the villainess trapped him with her arms. As they say, you might think you're the guy or the girl, but there's always a bigger menace out there, and the homie Wally was learning that the hard way, unfortunately. Wally freed himself from Madame Rouge by utilizing his vibrating ability again and tried fleeing away from the villainess, only to be stopped in his tracks at every moment. Realizing that he was going to be turned into a damn trophy if he doesn't escape, Wally created a shockwave in the pavement to stun Madame Rouge and ran for his goddamn life. Realizing that he was out of stamina, Wally walked into a nearby warehouse to rest up. Unknowns to Wally though, he was being watched by Seymour as the one-eyed villain informed Jinx of the hero's location, leading to Jinx thanking Seymour for aiding her, which also led to this young man blushing. I was like, damn, no, my boy, I feel so bad for you. You don't even know that this nigga KidFlash is soon gonna win her heart for good. Jinx arrived at Wally's location and blasted the hero as she was ticked at him for making her look like a fraud in front of her idol. I was like, girl, what do you want him to do? Stay there like a simp so Madame Rouge could send his ass to the afterlife? I would have dipped too if that was me. Jinx quickly took notice of Wally's vulnerability and got ready to capture him again. Wally once again asked Jinx why she wants to be like Madame Rouge so bad, which led to the young villainess telling the hero that being good was never an option for her and that being with the Brotherhood of Evil she'll get tons of respect. Then came one of the coldest lines in the show easily as Wally informed Jinx that she doesn't need to hurt others to feel good about herself. God, this nigga Wally knows how to spit game for real, bro. Unfortunately, Jinx didn't listen to Wally and instructed her after the device Gizmo made for her. Now, we need to talk about the funniest clip in this episode as Jinx walked out of the warehouse to inform her idol, Madame Rouge, that she successfully captured KidFlash. Madame Rouge looked at Jinx with an expression on her face and slapped the young villainess away as she told her she did nothing against KidFlash. And finally dawned in Homegirl's brain that KidFlash may be right as she informed Madame Rouge how she looked up to her. But Madame Rouge didn't give a fuck and pulled out one of the most disrespectful lines ever as she told Jinx, life is full of disappointments, you are one of them. Oh, Jinx is gonna need to call Toshiro to cool down that burn. Jinx finally had enough of Madame Rouge's disrespect and broke the device, freeing KidFlash in the process. Madame Rouge was pissed and tried smacking Jinx, only to be dropped on her ass by the young villainess as she told the lady no one messes with her. I was like, yes Jinx, talk your shit. Madame Rouge smirked to herself and left the area. Seymour pulled up and asked Jinx if she wanted to rob a place with him, but she was like, nah, I don't want any part of that. Damn, my man got turned down again. The two friends said goodbye to each other, and just as Jinx was getting ready to leave, she looked down and noticed a rose that was led by KidFlash. Jinx looked to the direction of KidFlash and smirked to herself while taking a rose led by the hero with her into the shadows. I was like, my boy did it. My boy Wally was able to win her heart over. Lightspeed is one of my favorite episodes in Teen Titans as it gave us the sensational, and I mean sensational, debut of KidFlash. Wally was the second to last member of the OG Titans to not make an appearance in the show yet, so I was wondering, when is this man going to appear, and he finally did. Wally's personality in this episode reminds me a lot of his Just League International, his Just League Europe, and his Mark Waid era days. Wally's guest appearance was even better knowing that they got the GOAT voice actor Michael Rosenbaum, who also plays Wally in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, to voice him in this episode and in the finale. Easily one of the best episodes from Teen Titans, and I recommend y'all checking this one out for sure. Also, let me know who was your favorite character in this show, and what was your reaction to Wally successfully converting Jinx to the side of the heroes. As always, if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel as it helps out, and I greatly appreciate it. The next video will be one of the picks you wonderful people choose on the poll from the Boruto video a few days ago, so make sure to check that one out. With that said, I hope you continue having a nice week, and I'll catch y'all for the next video. Voro Ami out.